All right, we'll call the regular Board of Commissioners meeting to order, please, with pledge of allegiance to the flag. Oh, moment of silent meditation first, I'm sorry. All right, we'll have the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yes, this will be a fast meeting, looks like. Everybody's taking off for the summer. Can we have the adoption of the agenda? Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion by Christine, second by Jason. We have adoption of the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. We have adoption of the agenda. Consent agenda. Can we have a motion?
I motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Darrell, is there a second?
Second.
Who?
Second.
Second by Betty. All right. We have the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Have a consent agenda. All right. James, take off.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item number 5 on the agenda. This is public comment. Members of the public are invited to address the Board of Commissioners on any topic. Public comment is not intended to require the board to answer any impromptu questions or to take any action on items brought up during the public comment period. Speakers will address all the comments of the board as a whole and not one individual commissioner. Discussions between speakers and members of the audience will not be allowed. Time limits are 3 minutes per person or 5 minutes per group. Please come forward to the podium and identify yourself so your statement can be recorded. And we'll look to the audience today. We have one member. It's our Water and Sewer Director here. I don't know if he would be here to make public comment or simply here in support of our upcoming agenda item regarding the pump station project. All right. Mr. Mayor, looks like public comment session. We have nobody attending.
Okay. Would anybody like to be heard? This is so nice not to be on that Zoom and everything. All right, we'll close public comment period. New business, James, take off.
Thank you, sir. Item number 6A under new business. This is resolution 2021-05. This is for the tentative award of the Shallow Bag Bay Sewer Pump Station project. The reason it's called out as a tentative award is because the next step in the process would be for this to go to the state of North Carolina and the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality. They're the ones providing funding in the amount of $606,000 in the zero-interest loan over 20 years and $500,000 in loan forgiveness or grant as we finish that particular process. However, they must approve the award of this. After you do, then when we can come back, we can actually get the contract started, get them underway, and we will keep you posted every step of the way. But this is a necessary step for them to see that you all will approve this particular project before they'll consider it next. And this does require a motion, a second, and a vote in order for it to be official with the state, sir.
I was going to ask you that. Can we have a motion on the resolution for the tentative award for Shallow Bag Bay Sewer Pump Station replacement?
I'll make a motion.
All right, motion by Richie, second?
I'll second.
Second by Christine. All in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, members of the board. Item number 6B on the agenda. This is an appointment to the Land Transfer Tax Appeals Board. Now, this one was actually a relatively new to me as an actual body, and I think the reason it's new is, according to Dare County, it hasn't met in at least 6 years since the current administrator is in place. So it only meets when there is an appeal to the land transfer tax, which is 1% of the transaction. So even though it's rare, we still have a representative to this board should we want to protect our interests in a particular case. The only, as I mentioned in my staff report, the only criteria is that it's a town of Manteo resident. It can be a board member, such as this board appointed Mayor Owens to the Dare County Tourism Board, for example, so it could be an elected official. It could be just a resident with knowledge. Some of the board members on the current board, from Kitty Hawk, it's an elected official. From other jurisdictions like Hill Devil Hills, it's a business owner or realtor. You could even appoint a staff member who may live in town. For example, I live in town, within town limits, so you could appoint staff, appoint one of your own members, or if you have another person in mind for this rarely meeting but still important board, it would certainly be of your choosing. So I will leave it to the board to consider your options. It would be, if you choose to appoint someone today, that's great. We will coordinate with Dare County because it goes to them. If you choose to wait till next time and think about it, that's fine too.
Have you got anybody that's applied?
No, sir. On our
Do we have
application,
one now?
we do not have anybody who's applied right now. And
I
this
mean, do we have one that's been serving?
Ms. June Neary had been serving and is no longer a resident of
Yeah,
the town, so
yeah.
that's what opened up this,
Okay.
this spot.
Okay, what's the feelings of the board on this one?
Does anyone know of anyone that has expressed interest? Or have anyone?
They haven't met in 5 years.
So we won't do it at the spur of the moment. Why don't we
How about James?
take it under
Yeah.
advi-
Did James do it?
According to them, yes, all you have, your only criterion has
I'm
has
not-
to be
I'm
resident.
not
Does James
putting
have
your name out
interest
there.
in doing it?
Yes, oh, I'm happy, if that's the will of the board, I'm happy to do it. So,
Maybe I should ask
so
you
I
first.
would meet the criteria, as would, like I say, as would a board member. So if that's your choice, I'd be happy to serve.
if it's legal, probably a little more appropriate, Richie, like you're suggesting. You want, Ben, can we do it legally?
I'm not sure. I'd have to, I hadn't seen the legislation that, or the county's creation of the board, but if James says that it's a board member or the town manager or a citizen, then I think that's fine.
Well, we'll give it a shot, but say not. Richie, you
I don't
want
think
to
there's
make,
anything-
Richie, want to make a formal motion?
Haven't met in 5 years, you know.
That's what I was thinking. I'll make the motion to approve, to nominate James for that
I
position.
second it.
All right, there's a motion and a second to appoint James Ayers to the Land Transfer Tax Appeal Board. If we can. Don't say that. All right, all in favor? All opposed? The ayes have it, the motion carries.
Sorry, James.
We got rid of that one fast.
There you go. All right, next up on the agenda, this is another appointment, and this one is for a town of Manteo board, though. This one is the Community Police Advisory Board. Earlier this year, the board had appointed 6 members to the Community Police Advisory Board. The charter for this says 3 to 7 members, so if you choose, you could add another member. Subsequent to your prior appointments, we've only had one application that came in from Ms. Melissa Bender, and this is a member who you might have heard at some board meetings talking about, for example, one of the zoning issues that came up. So she's appeared before you previously in a public comment period, and of course with her application indicating interest. So that has been the first application we had desiring interest in this, and the board certainly can. You may choose to appoint this. You don't have to. You already have the minimum numbers on the board, the minimum 3 serving, and it's an active board. They've already elected a chair and vice chair. They've indicated interest in having a table down at the market on Market Day. Of course, National Night Out will be coming up, and of course, with their involvement, it's just been really nice. And we have some wonderful people on that board. So, if this board chooses, you could appoint someone tonight. The only applicant we have was in front of you. If you choose to hold off and see if more applications come in, that's fine too. So you don't have to take action, but should you choose to do so, we just want to make it available to you knowing that an application came in.
How long do those appointments last, or how long are they good for?
Yes, we had 2-year terms.
Okay.
Thank you to Town Clerk Jamie Whitley.
And how many's on there now?
6 members. And our charter says a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 7.
How do the current board feel about it? Or have anybody asked them?
You know, with the current board, they have not, for example, been out soliciting members, and we didn't bring the application to them since the appointing body is the Board of Commissioners. However, if this board thinks it's more appropriate for us to go to them and say, you know, do you want to recruit new members, get a pool of applicants, and then choose from those, you may consider that as well. But we just wanted to be responsive when we do have applications coming in. We just thought it appropriate to bring it to you.
And we have 6 right now.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I think a 7th person probably, an odd number, if there were any types of voting, or I'm not really exactly sure how they do their business, but, I mean, I'm certainly in favor of Melissa, being on the board.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the board that people were jumping up and down to volunteer for at first too. So, I mean, Melissa's a teacher. She seems like a good candidate for it, and someone who's interested in being active, then, you know, I'm all for that. And like you said, the odd number kind of settles some disputes there.
Well, how does the board feel about it? Do you want to nominate the lady tonight, or hold it off, or what?
I mean, I'll make a motion to appoint Melissa Bender to the Police Advisory Board.
Just a clerical question. Would her term expire with the rest of the board in 2 years, or this month, 2 years?
And to be honest, the board can make, and actually, Commissioner Mann makes a great point here. We appointed them all at the same time, and they had concurrent terms. If the board chooses, you could make the motion such that this person will serve the same term, with the same term end date as the other current members of the board. And I think that would make things a little bit cleaner for this board in the future when the next round of appointments comes up. Thank you, sir.
All right, do we want a motion? Somebody does.
We have
I
a
made a
motion. Do we need to tweak that?
I didn't hear it.
that
Did you make the motion?
to have the,
Term.
how does that need to be cleaned up?
It depends. Did we hear a second?
I'll second,
If
yeah.
there was no second, the original motion can amend or can update the motion prior to the second. That way you don't have to go back through the process.
And what's her name?
Her name is Melissa Benders, and she lives on George House Street in
All
Manteo.
right, there's a motion and a second that we
Well,
appoint.
do we want to amend the motion to
Amend the motion to
have the term start?
have the term,
Prorated, I guess.
If you want to
Well, I
say
don't think you
the
can-
term with the same end date as the prior
yeah, the same
appointees.
end date. I don't think we can like go back retroactively.
Have a
but-
term expire when the rest of them do.
Exactly.
Yeah. And, okay.
I second that.
All right, the motion is second. We appoint Melissa Bender to the Community Police Advisory Board. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes seem to have it. You'll notify her, James?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Is there any, following up with that, is there any reason why those terms should be staggered in the future? Or, I mean, I know it's just an advisory board, but,
Especially with recommending bodies like the Planning and Zoning Board, certainly there's great reason for having the staggered terms there. In this case, with the Advisory Board of Special Events Committee, we could do it the next time around if that's the choice. But oftentimes, these folks that serve on advisory bodies may drop off for other reasons or whatever, and then the appointment come up, and then we can go ahead and handle it that way. But for right now, given that this is a recently chartered board, I think we're in a good spot with the direction of the board. Thank you. All right.
All right, mayor comments, I don't have any. Richie, commissioner comments?
Yes, I would like to thank everybody for the 4th of July celebration. I think it turned out well. The only, I will say, the only complaint that I heard was the food vendors. They were sorely missed. And I don't know if that was a lack of time, might have involved in that, you know, the lack of time. That was the only thing I heard about the negative part of it. That's it. I'm sorry, man. That's it.
Okay. Eddie?
Yes, sir. I'd like to thank the town staff as well for the 4th event. They did a great job. I know all town staff, public works, put in a lot of extra hours, and we're here on the 4th working when all of us were probably off, so I appreciate all their hard work.
All right. Jason?
Yeah, just to be a broken record, appreciate it all, and it's a lot of work. It's something, you know, we lose money on, but it's great for the community, both that live here as well as the community that comes here. So just appreciate everybody's hard work and getting it together.
Now,
I'd like to thank the town staff for helping us with our Juneteenth celebration, especially Frankie and his crew and the police department. I think it came off pretty good. Miss Yamba is a great singer, and it makes their county proud. That's it.
Benny?
I echo what everybody else said about July 4th. It was wonderful, hard work went in before, after, and during the celebration, so it went real well. And the apple pie eating contest, I was a little disappointed I didn't get me a slice. That's it. I do want to say to the board that I have been out walking the streets, talking to people about affordable housing, so that's something I hope we revisit very soon. Showed a lot of interest, a couple people showed a lot of interest in serving. I know we have the 20-year plan, but people want to be a part of that conversation, so I will be putting together people to have that conversation so we can see where we are and get it moving, help get it moving. That's it.
Okay. Christine?
Again, I'll echo what everyone else said and just praise all the town employees and staff for July 4th. It was awesome. The weather was great. If we could, you know, put that in for next year. If we can have that weather on order for next year, that'd be great. And Josh, someone asked me today, and I'm glad that you're here. You know, I know my dog goes swimming downtown, and I know there's so many kids jumping off the bridge and down around by the net shed and so forth. The quality of the water there, or the testing, you know, I know that we get results, or, you know, I know that there's results sometimes from Jockey's Ridge area that's not so great. So I was just, you know, wondering, again, it was brought up to me by someone else with a dog, you know, whether that water is clean. So, I mean, I'm not going to put you on the spot, but maybe if by the next meeting, if I can talk with you after, but, you know, it probably, you know, I'm sure I'm not the only one getting asked because there are so many people and visitors in town. And then another concern, and I've raised this before, but signs, business signs, or, you know, sandwich board signs and other miscellaneous things that are blocking the sidewalks in town. I can't help it. I get so aggravated. You know, especially when there are a lot of people walking in town. I just think that the sidewalks need to be cleared of the things that should not be there, belong there. And so Melissa, whoever can maybe take a look at that, and some of the offenders. You know, we've got the Newtown Common, parking maybe not so much, hopefully, you know, is being directed there. But man, there's a jam up sometimes on the sidewalks that I hate to see. So that's it.
Yeah, they shouldn't have to walk around signs to get on the sidewalk.
I agree. Should not have to walk around a car to get where I'm going.
Is there, James, I know you're fairly new, is there any ordinances or anything to that effect? I think they call them sandwich signs. Could be placed, should be moved off the sidewalk, or you want to look into it?
Yes, and we do have our town planner here, Town Planner Dickerson, because there is over time there are ongoing enforcement of different types of signs, whether there are a number of levels here, and in fact she had done a recent sweep of some of the so-called snipe signs and things like that. But if it's all right, I'll let Town Planner Dickerson address some of the efforts.
And not just signs.
And sandwich boards. Yeah.
Or miscellaneous flower pots.
Yeah.
Other business equipment things.
So the ordinance requires that any signage, or especially those sandwich boards, be kept within the footprint of the structure. So there is that intent built into the ordinance. I do try to get out and drive through downtown, but often I am looking for pedestrians and don't always see the offenders. I know this last week I have sent maybe a half dozen friendly emails just reminding folks first of the rules, because there are some new business owners downtown. So I try to be friendly about it first, but I did notice a couple today that I'm going to be in touch with. And then, of course, I did a sign sweep on the corridor yesterday and picked up about a dozen signs that were illegal. So.
Well, what do you recommend, James?
Yes, sir. So we'll continue some of the efforts, and there's kind of, as town planner alluded to, a lot of times we had one new business in particular that's a very tasty place that had a particular sign. They weren't aware of the ordinance on a particular thing. And then there are some that are repeat offenders. So you go from helpful, educating, and friendly, but if we start getting some of the repeat offenders, and I think to the commissioner, to Commissioner Walker's comments, it's not always signs. Sometimes it's like little pieces of their operation that start to get in the sidewalk or lines back up. So we've actually seen some more of that this summer. I know that's a happy problem to have so many visitors. We also want to make sure those visitors are kept safely on the sidewalk and not walking around vehicles. So we'll continue to step up those enforcement efforts.
All right. Christine, does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. I just.
All right. Any other comments? Gosh, well, we're out of here. I guess we move to recess because we have a meeting 21st?
Yes, sir.
All right. Can I have a motion to recess till the 21st of July? When is it we don't meet? Is next month?
In August, the first meeting will be held, but the mid-month meeting won't be held. It's on the Virginia Day or holiday that's
Okay.
observed by the town of Manteo.
Traditionally, we never met in August. I think that's what happened.
Okay, well, we'll handle that in August. All right, we'll ask for a recess. We'll have a motion to recess until July the 21st at 5 o'clock. Is it 5:30? 5 o'clock. All right, can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to recess until July 21st at 5 o'clock.
Second?
I'll second.
All right, motion and a second. All in favor that we recess to 21st? Opposed? The ayes have it. We stand recessed till 21st.